So this is how to set up tax by state. If you're a USA merchant, then this is typically how the manage tax screen is going to look here. By default, it's set up to prices include tax, show total tax, and a default tax rate. So let's just say prices include tax. If you're in the USA, typically your prices aren't going to include tax because they normally get added at the end. Show total tax you want to be yes, and it's up to you what you set your default tax rate to. It shouldn't be used, but if in doubt, just set it to the tax rate of your particular state that you're in. So let's just click on Save Changes there. Now, the next important thing that you've got to do is make sure that you're allowing the states. So if we go to Manage Countries, now this shows a list of all the different countries that you're accepting payments from or allowing to sort of trade with you, and there's a whole stack of them down here. You'll scroll down to the USA. So we've got United States here. You want to make sure that you've got Use Regions, which is the second to last checkbox. You want to make sure you've got that selected for the US. Let's tick that there. And you want to make sure you've got some states allowed there as well. In fact, let's change the default. There's two other fields here: default billing and default delivery address. So let's say for the sake of argument, we're in California. So if I just set those to the default billing and default delivery, and then click on Save Changes. Let's wait for those changes to be saved. There we go, excellent. So if we scroll down here, we've got United States, Use Regions, and we set to California. Okay, so California is where we are. Now if we go back to the Manage Tax screen, and then click on the Advanced Tax Options link there. Now, when you add products to the product manager or when you're posting products to the cart, by default, unless you tell the cart otherwise, all your products are in tax band A, right? So essentially, at its most basic, all you need to do is go down all of the entries, all the countries on this screen here, and specify what their tax rate is in tax band A. So moving down here, you'll see next to the US, now that we've selected Use Regions, you can set the state tax. So if we just put 0 for all of these, and let's say, I don't know, in California maybe we have to charge 10%. You need to speak to a kind of a tax advisor if you're unsure of the actual amount of tax that you're supposed to be charging for the different states. But essentially you can go down here and you set the different amounts of tax for each state. You get the idea. I won't bother doing them all. And then click on Save Changes at the bottom. As I mentioned, the products by default are in tax band A. If you've got products that, very specific products that have a very specific tax rate in different states, then you can also do those as well. And if we just scroll down to here, these are the ones that I just added there. So as you can see, they're all in tax band 0 there, apart from California. Sorry, they all have a tax band A value of 0, apart from California, which is going to be 10%. But say, let's just say, again, for whatever reason, you've got one product that, I don't know, if you sell it to, so let's just put 0 all these out here. Let's say you've got one product that if you sell it to Alaska, you've got to charge, I don't know, 5% tax on it. What you would do is in tax band B, you'd put Alaska as 5%, all the others are 0, but obviously you'd set those to whatever they should be. And then if I just save that, if we then go to the, if we go to the product manager, where I've got a product there set up, let's just check that's what that looks like there. There, as you can see, there's 5% there. If we go to the product manager, manage products, I've got a product that I've set up in there. If I edit that product, then you'll see that you can set the tax band in the options section. So if this particular product needs to be charged 5% in Alaska and 0% in all the other states, you just set that to tax band B. Save that, and that's what would happen there. And one other important thing that I forgot to mention, I really need to point out, if we go back to the advanced tax screen, you need to click on, there's a button at the top which says switch on advanced tax functionality. You need to switch that on for the screen to have any effect.